Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. So something new I'm going to be trying out is I'm actually going to be demonstrating some of the games or the prototypes I've made over the past several years. So at least you know, if you subscribe to this channel, I'm not a complete idiot. And sort of most of the time, actually some of the time, I know what I'm doing. But basically, throughout the years as I've been learning GameMaker, I suppose the best way to learn something is to just, if you have an idea of a prototype, just put it together, see what it looks like. Even if you have no intention of releasing it, it really does hone your skills. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you something from the GameMaker Studio V1 days. So this is 1.4. This was the last version of GameMaker Studio, the first studio that they released. And in this, I created this game called the Crime Clicker. The inspiration for my video on the clicking effect actually comes straight from this game. So you'll notice as I go through some of these projects that I put together, a lot of what I brought to the channel is the learnings from these videos. So this was supposed to be a very literal take on what it is to create like a mob boss team, you know. So certain terms would be used in the literal sense instead of the figurative sense. So what we've got here basically is this big button. It's like a placeholder for clicking to generate income. And as we can see, is our net worth. And our net worth is just 20. We're getting 0 per second because we haven't enabled or purchased basically any assistance. So this would be the guy who's starting this mob group, just basically doing this stuff himself, getting a couple bucks. We've got 0 loot. This is our heat. We're on 0 heat. These are all missions. So I can read you one right now. Basically how it works is once you have enough money and enough personnel in your group, in your mob, basically you can do missions, and they'll go to the mission, they'll be unavailable, they'll earn funds while they're on the mission. I think some of them can even die during the missions. I'm not sure if I actually put that in. But here you can see literally receive cash per 10 seconds. Nobody likes boring marine animals like jellyfish. They're all squishy and yuck. People nowadays want fierce man-eating sharks. By purchasing a rare shark breed, we can lend it to the nearby aquaria for a small fee, of course. So it's called a loan shark basically, which is, you know, the more literal term of just lending a shark to the aquarium, as opposed to in the sense of the more figurative term, which is lending money to someone at an exorbitant rate. So you can see that requires 1 capo, 7 soldiers, 2 associates, and $2,215.37. So once those requirements are met, you'll see that this will change and it'll have a really cool image. And we can actually click it, and if I remember correctly, these guys will then go over there. We'll see income per second, and then eventually they'll go back. So the concept here was things become more available and clearer as you have the resources, because if you don't have the resources, you know, perhaps it isn't clear what you can do. And there's all kinds of things here. So that's the loan shark. This is racketeering. I think this one says, by purchasing off the racket-based sporting goods in the local area, we can increase their demand. As local outlets turn their customers away, we will force them to buy stock back from us at unreasonable prices. So again, more of a literal version than figurative, or around what the actual term of racketeering means. Then here we've got fence off required loot, cost of which is dependent on the amount of loot available. So as you do missions, you get loot, and you have to have a fence available. So for example, it says you need fences, and they will get rid of the loot for us, and we'll get some money from it. So I mean, this game isn't perfect. I think it's on, according to this, I did maybe 6 builds, and I consider a build, you know, 6 versions of features, and there's some stability. But I know there is a bug that if I hire a hitman, then he costs more than he makes, so you need to have enough money, otherwise this goes down to 0, and you can't possibly click this fast enough, and then you just go into an exorbitant amount of debt. So I'm not going to test our hitman, but we've got all kinds of people that can join our mob that we can recruit, and I'll go through those in a second. Here's one: increase click income by 3,000%. I think this, by making a few of our accountants dirty, our books can show more legitimate income than we actually earn. So that's crooking the books. Actually, that is spot on to what it is. Next one, reduce the heat. Okay, so this one reduces our heat. By laundering our dirty money, we can reduce the heat on organizations. That's actually also more figurative of what it is, so money laundering. Next up is a bank job. This is it, the big one, as the guys call it. We'll rob a nearby bank to boost our cash reserves. Hopefully it all goes to plan. You know, capo, 7 soldiers, a lot of people and a lot of money. So he needs 26,000. Then we've got obstruct justice. There's a police chief by the name of Jeremy Justice. By hindering Jeremy's ability to do his job, we can reduce the heat on organization and maybe even jump a few wise guys out of the joint. Coming soon. Okay, so I hadn't put this one in just yet. The ability to jump wise guys out of the joint. 6 capos needed lots of money. So basically, I think what I wanted to do is these guys can go to prison if they do jobs, and the jobs go bad, and then you'd have to use another mission, get another few associates and capo soldiers, that kind of thing. So then kind of jump them out of the joint. So that's quite fun. Then what do we got here? Receive cash and loot by hijacking a truck laden with 60s style TVs and high-end VCRs. That's quite funny. We can fence off the goods for a nice profit. We may even find a few bucks under the seats. So you can see a capo of soldiers, associates. Then here's another reduce heat. By donating a sum of cash to the local charity, we can promote ourselves as the good guys and reduce a little bit of heat at the same time. So you need heat, 4 capos, 1 consig, 2 soldiers, associates, and then that's the money you're going to donate. So on the right hand side, we have all kinds of people we can hire. The amount in green shows that's how much they cost, and green means we can afford them. So you can see these guys we can definitely not afford. The amount below the green, for example, for an associate is how much they cost per second, and the amount above is how much they generate per second. So right now that's not showing any amount. I suppose in a perfect world you should always show how much they could cost, but in this case this is showing how much they currently cost. And generally the rule is that you should be making a profit, right? So if you have a lesser associate, he should bring in more money than he costs. So I think the idea here was to enable the player to recruit a hitman to do kind of hitman jobs, but obviously the hitman isn't per se making any money. Maybe the hitman's doing a job, and that job itself generates money, not the hitman himself for just being idle. So I'll fix that one day, maybe, if I want. So if I keep clicking this, you'll see certain things have become available. So there we go. I can now get a soldier, and now if I get a soldier is the first level of the mafia in the formal mafia hierarchy. I think I did a bit of research into this, at least, to get all the backstories right and just some of the the ways the mafiosos work. So when you get one of those, so here you can see he earns 6 a second. But as you buy one, now you can see it costs 66 to hire the next one. So they get more and more expensive, as is the nature with these clicker games. And then he only costs 240, so we're going up, and we can keep clicking if we want more. And say for example we want to do the loan shark job, right? So we need a capo. So that's this guy, he needs 80, so let's get up to 80. So we have a capo now, and you'll see that these things will start changing their sprites to become more clearer as we get the requirements. 7 soldiers, well, that's a lot of soldiers. Do we need any cheaper guys? 2 associates. Let's get 2 associates. Let's keep clicking. What else do we need? 7 soldiers, 2 associates. We've got the capo. Okay, we just need to get the soldiers. And get another soldier. And you can see, as they get more expensive, they generate more income. So that's something to consider. For example, you might not want to just spend your time waiting, doing some clicking at very low value. You could buy a consig and then he, for example, here he's generating 30 bucks a pop, which is, generates more income for us to then use on getting the requirements. So because we've got that guy, now we can fly through getting these soldiers quickly because he's getting 30 a pop. Very cool stuff. So you can see how this shark is kind of coming in and out of existence, because now all that's left is the money, and we need 2,215. So just let's let it go. It's coming. The picture is coming together. Everyone's planning. They're thinking, we can get an exotic shark and lend it to the local aquaria. Get in there. Let's click this. I mean, it's not doing a lot, but let's just do it anyway. And so this is going to the left of the screen because that's kind of where our income is. So I figured at the time that was a good place to get it. And it kind of disappears. I suppose I could have faded it away. The effect that I've got actually on the channel, which I'll put in the description, is actually a little bit more advanced than this one even. Oh, something else is coming on here. Cash and loot, hijacking a truck. Okay, cool. 2215. What do we need? 1 capo. Oh, we need another soldier. There we go. Cool. So now it changes to green, saying, boom. Cash every 10 seconds. You've got everyone. Now check what happens when we click it. Check that out. So they move from here, because now they can't generate money they can't generate any income while they're on a job, right? Because they're doing that job. So we can still do this. We can still do our business. And one thing I don't understand is why this config is not... Okay, so there's a bit of a glitch there, because he should have... The guy that's still sitting here should be generating revenue. But they've got like a 22-second counter. And again, this countdown timer is something I've demonstrated on the channel. Links in the description if you like that. It's basically saying, lending the shark now, 1 capo busy, 7 soldiers busy, 2 associates busy. And in there's also pluralization, I'd imagine. Depending on what these... See, it says capo, capos, capo, capo, because it's 1. That's interesting. And we'll see what big cash sum we get at the end. I think we do get a lump sum right at the end. But they're lending the shark right now. That's quite exciting. Boom. We get a big payout. The heat goes up. Heat's going up. Now these guys are going to travel back. How cool is that? Look at them go. And now they're generating money again. Look at that. Let's try something else. What's this? Racketeering, purchasing all the sporting goods. I want to go for 4 associates. I'm very keen to see if I went through the extra trouble to actually make sure these guys can like die and stuff if they're on missions. I'm not sure. I can barely remember a lot of this. Okay, so we need 2 capos. We've got 2 capos. 14 soldiers. Oh shoot, those are expensive. Okay, 1,600 each. They're getting very expensive now. But I mean, they're generating a lot of money. And you can do these as many times as one wants, I suppose. I wonder if I'll get... I have 0 loot. Maybe I'll get loot if I do this one. Or maybe only loot when I do the bank job or the... Oh, it says cash and loot. What do I do? Cash and loot. I'm very keen to see if I actually put that in. Maybe we'll do this one. Hijacking a truck laden with 60s style TVs and high-end VCRs. 1 capo, 5 soldiers, 2 associates. Oh, I need 2 lesser associates. And is that 39,000? Oh, nuts. Okay, well, who's making us the most money? Let's see. $1 and he costs only 10 cents. Just want to see what takes us up the most. 165. That goes up. We get one of these guys. It goes up by 2, 3. Whoa, those guys go up a lot. Okay, we're just gonna blow all our money. Let's get 1 fence just in case. See, so check this out. A fence actually costs 550. It doesn't make us any money, I suppose. Some things need... They're just there for jobs. So you need to make sure if you're recruiting those kinds of associates, those kinds of people into your mafia, then they'll only be used for missions. I'm very impressed of how sort of complete this game is, if you can call it that, because it's actually working. It hasn't exploded yet, at least. We need to do more missions that increase our clicker count, because otherwise it's not much of a clicker game if you can't generate income through clicking, right? Okay, we need to get 22,521. That is a heck of a lot of dollary dues. And I'm just thinking, who's going to get me there the most? Maybe these guys? 308 second. 3,000. That's going to be 10 seconds. So it's about 100 seconds to get 30,000, 32,000. That's still too long. I've got to raise the game here. These guys get me a heck of a lot. Okay, so I'm on 331. The thing is, if we just hang in there and... Oh, maybe I should do one of these. That's a good cash injection. Let's do one of those. So if I like hang in there... Wow, I got 48 of these guys. Look how expensive they are now. Look, check this out. So it cost 1.6, which is nearly the same as an associate, but look at... I mean, I suppose the profit margin is quite large. But if I go one of these guys, it costs me a lot. But let's do it again. It costs me a lot, but I don't get as much back on the return of investment on that. Cool, maybe we'll try one of these other ones, because the idea here is it gets more and more difficult as the game progresses. So like, for example, this one. Is that actually a picture of a van or a truck? truck heist, it gets more and more expensive and difficult to do these missions. So the point is to kind of do the little missions, get your team together, and then, you know, slowly but surely work your way into the rest. And then I think what I eventually wanted to do is some sort of scroll bar here, so you could scroll into the next set of missions, or perhaps missions just become more and more dangerous if you do them too often. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to have like a nice level of complexity behind it. I was quite excited about doing that. Oh, I can do this one. What does this give me? Click and combat. Yeah, let's do that. There the guys go. 5 stars. Look at that. We're up to 30 now. Whoa, we're in the money. But check again, because they're on a mission. Sets of guys are on a mission. Our income is like halved because of that. So we have to just keep that in mind. There we go. Heat goes up. Oh, that's hands giving out donations. Oh, that's fun. I must say, I really do remember enjoying putting this together initially. How long ago was this? Let me see if I can bring up a date. So this actually says July 15th, 2019, but I think it was further back than that, because I'm pretty sure I was using version control, so it's a little difficult. I think that was the date I kind of converted the repository. At least it must be. All of these are around that time. So I think I've got a whole text document of ideas. I think it was before even that. Here we go. Again, this is this is my empty doc. Huh, cool. Yeah, I think this goes even before 2019. Okay, cool. So we can do a lot of these things. You see now the pictures are coming together. Oh, these guys just stay with the creative accounting. Is that it? I didn't read that properly, but I think they might stay there, like indefinitely. Need loot. We can do the truck heist. Let's do the truck heist. Up to 30. I'm actually gonna I'll get a hitman after this truck heist. Whoa, check that out. 998 loot. There they go. Oh, that was quick. I only got 98 loot. Fence off loot. Whoa, okay. We hit an explosion. Eventually, I assume it was gonna happen. Fence loot, instance create, not set before we. Okay. There's actually a typo in stas create. Ah, what a bummer of a way to go down. But so this is just one of the cool games that I put together with prototypes, I guess, because it didn't really get anywhere in the end. But I was very excited to create that, and I think I was going to essentially export that as like an HTML5 kind of experience, because lots of those clicker games exist kind of in the browser, very casual play. You know, Cookie Clicker, for example, is just fantastic. It's really addictive. So if you want me to show you more of the kind of prototypes that I've created over time, I mean, these go back as far as like GameMaker 8 days. I think I've got about 6 or 7 like proper projects I've put together. Some are like more ambitious than others, some are very kind of small, but each of them have taught me all kinds of really cool lessons over time. So if you want to see more of them, please let me know in the comments. If you would like to support this channel every month, please check out my Patreon campaign. I really do appreciate that. So all of the tutorials that kind of extracted some piece of learning from this will be in the description. Please make sure that you comment, rate, and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys next time.